My name is Mrs. Whitehead and I'm going to talk you through the Sociology course. So Sociology is the study of human society, and a really good way of thinking about that is seeing the strange in the familiar. A lot of what we study is common sense, and Sociology will get you to think about it critically, to get you in a way that you haven't looked at it before. So in the first year, you will study education, research methods, and so in September we'll start education. And just to give you a little light, let's look at social class. So we'll look at social class from two different perspectives. We'll look at it externally. So, for example, middle class, working class, upper class. We'll look at where they live, what kind of diet they have, parental values, language that they speak in terms of their, and the impact this has on achievement. So, for example, why do middle class students tend to do better than working class? And we'll also look at this from an internal perspective. So we'll look at it at school. So, for example, teacher labelling. What impact does this have on students' achievement? Research methods. As you can see, we'll explore various research methods from a sociological perspective. We're going to get validity, so an into why people behave that they do. So, a gang, which forms part of the criminology topic in year 2, it would be better for me to go and do a participant observation covertly, so undercover, rather than hand them a questionnaire to find out, for example, why they joined a gang. And then the second part is methods in context. In methods in context, you get to apply your sociological knowledge to one of the research methods that we've learned about strengths and limitations. So, for example, if I wanted to research teacher labelling and the impact this had on working class and middle class students, I could give teachers a questionnaire. The chances are that they may not be truthful. I could go and observe them teach a lesson and look at how they interact with different students from different social classes, but they're likely to change their behaviour, which most people do when they're being watched. That would be an over observation, but alternatively I could go covert, uncover as a teaching assistant, and again, them teaching a lesson, they're not aware of me in a research capacity, they're likely to behave naturally. So methods and context forms the second part of research methods, and that's why we'll look at each of the different research methods that sociologists can use, and we'll apply those to education. And then in the last part of the academic study, and again, just to give you a flavour of that, so family diversity, for example, is one of the debates. So there's lots of different family types within society today, and is that positive or negative for the family members? So that's the adults that form part of that family and the children as well. Back in the day, if we go traditionally to the traditional type of family, it was a nuclear family, so parents and 2 adults, and some theories that is the only normal and correct type of family. Other family types and other theories will argue that family is positive for society. So that's the first year. I've listed everything that we'll cover in the second year, but I won't go into that in too much detail. I will go on to say that criminology is often a subject that students take through to university. And you can see in the things that we study under criminology that we study quite a lot of different theories and ideas. So, I mean, currently, and you might have heard the media today, still women are likely to get away with crime than men, and why is that? And then theory, so sociological theories, the top three: function of feminism, we would have explored in quite a lot of detail in education, and that was action theories and post are new that we look at. Last three are debates. So is sociology a science? What impact does sociology have on policy? And when studying people, can you be objective? So can you keep your values and opinions out? Can you be factual? And then in the last part of the academic year, we go on to beliefs in society. So we look at the changing face of religion and the impact that has on society and its members. So at the end of the course, we'll take 3 hour exams that are worth each. It refers to writing, essentially essay-based subject. We start writing the essays from day one that you need the exams in year 13. Because we spend so much time working on the structure, by the time you get to the exam, you'll have no problems writing a sociological essay to a really high standard. And that is why sociology is very successful each year. I've left some of the activities in for you to think about yourself, discuss with your friends, discuss with your members, and start to debate, because that's essentially what sociology is. And we will spend time throughout the year debating lots of issues that you are familiar with, that perhaps might seem a little like common sense, but you haven't thought about critically. So this one relates to divorce. So I would pose the question here: why are divorce rates rising? And there's many angles that you can look at this from. This one talks about or taps into pictures on social class and poverty. And you could link this one to urbanisation, social class, and crime. So some of the questions that I would pose here is: why are divorce rising? The impact of social class on education for schools. So do schools have a type of student they prefer from a specific social class background? And if that is the case, what's the impact of that for the student? What kind of opportunity are they given? What areas do they experience? And how does that impact on their achievement? Has poverty and also might poverty lead to more crime? Why people marginalised one side or don't have any opportunity in balance? I've also included a clip of the riot in August 2011. You might not be familiar with that. You can start to think about and discuss the reasons for the antisocial behaviour. Why did people riot? What might have led them to behave in that way? And again, you can look at things like gender, social class, ethnicity, which are demographic factors that we consider in those debates. And finally, what do you need to bring with you in September? You'll need a folder and some dividers. Dividers are really important. For each topic, you're given a booklet, and you'll need to be able to divide the different topics in that booklet. Make it easier for you to find. A full-size writing pad, a red pen, some highlighters, any other stationery that you want to use. And you've probably read plenty of times throughout year 11 that year 11 difficult. They are difficult. There is a considerable jump with GCSE, but if you start, you mean to go on. So if you come with the mind that you're going to work hard from day one, then you're going to give yourself a chance of being successful. I hope this gives your good insight into sociology, and I look forward to seeing you in September.